again, for those that are joining us this afternoon, my name is Eric Auger. I'll be one of your co-hosts this afternoon on what are the best ways to market to doctors. So we welcome everybody that's here this afternoon. Looks like we've got David and James and Amar, and looks like somebody else is dialed in. So good for you to show up here on time. So we appreciate the promptness to those that are here. So thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind, we want to make sure that we're being heard properly. I think we are, but if you don't mind, just in that Q&A box, just go ahead and type in something there like, hello, yes, we can hear you okay. And that way you'll know where the Q&A box is, and we'll make sure that we know that we're being heard. So I appreciate you doing that. Yep, David, thanks so much. Amar, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Eric Auger. I'll be one of your co-hosts this afternoon, along with Patrick Phillips. Let me tell you a little bit about American Business Systems. ABS has been around for 28 years. Some of you have been around on some of the other webinars that we've had here recently. And folks, it's just good to know that you are looking into a business opportunity with a business that's been around as long as ABS has. So folks, you're in a good place here today. Well, what makes ABS tick is what you're looking at right here. It's the EMRX iClaim billing platform. It is powered by NextGen, as you can see that. NextGen is a powerhouse, and whenever it comes down to a medical billing platform, we've been associated with them for several years now, and they are the ones that power all of our software behind the scenes for you. Matter of fact, all these other different partners are some of the biggest names in the industry, as you can imagine, and we are all partnered with them. ABS is, throughout this 28 years, has partnered with every type of technology out there in the market that's specifically for doctors, and not only partnered with technology partners like that, but as some of you were on the webinar with me last Wednesday, you know that I got to interview Dr. Vicki Rackner, and ABS has been associated and partnered with doctors like Dr. Rackner, who actually helps you in giving you a lead in to some of these doctors. As you'll go back and listen to our webinar from last week, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about there. The founders of American Business System is Patrick and Linda Phillips. They actually started medical billing several years before they actually started American Business Systems. So they've been at this for well over 30 years and have a good foundation and a good background in it. And not only a good background in it, but a good future with it. Because Adam Phillips is now the CEO of American Business Systems. And that Adam kind of took over the reins a few years ago from Patrick. I'd say from Patrick. Patrick is still around, obviously, but on the day in and day out and stuff, Adam is taking care of all of that information. Now, Patrick is also, along with Dr. Vicki Rackner and some other co-authors, has written some books here: How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, The Cash Crunch to Think Cash Flow, and The New Thriving Medical Practice. And we'll talk a little bit about that book later on in the webinar. Patrick is also an author, a contributing editor to the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. And he's also the co-founder of an organization called MERMA, and that is the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. So I'm going to say, without any further ado, let me bring Patrick on over here. Patrick, it's good to see you this afternoon, and looks like you are doing very well. So thanks for joining us this afternoon.
I appreciate it, Eric. Hey, I think when people look at our business, I think the biggest question in their mind is, how do I get a client? They think they can run a business. They think, well, I can probably learn how to do medical billing. And by the way, folks, most of our folks that come through our training have no background in the medical billing at all, or even in the medical field.
Right.
And they've been doing, some of them, six-figure incomes, as you hear from some of our interviews with those folks. So this webinar today, we're going to focus in on, some of the secrets that we have to share with you about how we help those people that join us as business owners, or what we call licensees, because they license our software. We show you how we help them actually get their business up and going with some clients.
Absolutely. Yep. And it all starts with making sure that you have all of the right packages. And that's certainly one of the things that you have been able to put together with the ABS teams. Patrick, kind of tell us about all these different services and what they really mean.
Yeah, years ago, all we did was medical billing, of course, like most medical billing companies. And then I believe it was something to do with quick collect. That is, they wanted to know, some doctor wanted to know, how can you help me with the money that I am not collecting from my patients? Because doctors only collect about half of everything they bill to their patients. So we basically came up with a partnership with a company that actually provides a service. It's an online service. You don't do any collecting, even though the name of it is Quick Collect. It's an automated collection service that collects from the patients and without offending them in any way. So anyway, that's how we got started. Then we, as you can see, added a few more over the years. We continue to add them. I think it was last year that we added a couple even, didn't we? Dental billing.
We did,
and the virtual care. And those are always added as a part of your package. You don't ever pay anything extra for those. We have what we call a licensing fee. You might think of it as a franchise fee of about $29,000. So that gets you all the training, lifetime support, access to our licensee website, and ongoing training and webinars that we do for our licensees, all at no extra charge.
Absolutely. Yeah. So all of these different services that you see here, they're all to support the doctor in any way, shape, or form to make sure that the doctors get their reimbursements, whether it's through the coding aspect of it. I know the question is probably coming up in everybody's mind, how am I going to know coding? But as you'll see through here, all of these services actually come with people in our partnerships that actually do this for you. So this is all done in the background for you as if you and your particular company is doing it for you. So all of this is set up properly for you. So I thought, Patrick, the way that we're going to present today's presentation is, I think we're going to go through, I don't know, a good handful of different ways in which we are to help our new business owners market to doctors. And it all starts off with what we call physician education. And that's really where it begins, because like you've said in the past, we've said on different webinars, nobody likes to be sold, but they do like to learn.
And especially doctors, they put a lot of time and money into their education. And some of them are continuing to go to seminars and, they continue to educate themselves. So what we found is that doctors love to be educated on something, especially if it helps their cash flow.
Absolutely. And we all know by the studies that we found with Black Book ranking, if people want to go out there and check that out, that still there are, of all the physician practices with employed billing staff, 42% of those still hope to outsource their billing in the next 12 months. So folks, if you're looking for a business opportunity that has potential growth to it, and doctors that are out there that are still looking to outsource their billing, this is still the thing to do. Now, Patrick, I want to talk about now of the education side of it, because it's very important that the people that are on the call today and the webinar today knows where this education is coming from. And it comes from the book that I just mentioned a minute ago, The New Thriving Medical Practice. So let's kind of start here. We're going to kind of dive into some of the topics that are actually in the book.
Yeah, and notice the subtitle of this book, folks, and this is why doctors love it when you give this to them as part of your marketing. It says how to get off the hamster wheel, work smarter, not harder, generate more revenue, and enjoy greater career satisfaction in post-pandemic world, in a post-pandemic world.
There you go.
So folks, this is really, really relevant to doctors. It's up to date. And as you can see, we even referenced the pandemic. But the point is that in this book, we actually say, Dr. Vicky, wrote most of this book. She says, rejections have held steady at about 30% industry-wide. Now, Eric, when the doctor is given a copy of this book, and we teach our licensees to highlight passages and put little sticky notes on there so that they can turn right to the relevant stuff, they see something like that, it dawns on them, oh, well, if most doctors are, having rejections on their claim submission at 30%, what's mine? And they don't know that because their staff, if their staff's doing the billing, they don't tell them what it is. They may not even know.
And that kind of goes back to, the statistic we just put up a moment ago that, still doctors are 42% of doctors are still looking to, that have a hired billing staff are looking to still outsource because of that very reason that you're talking about here. And so someone was asking, is this recording being saved? And yes, this is going to be saved and sent to you a little bit later. So the new Thriving Medical Practice book is part of what you get in your business package here. So when Patrick's talking about you're going to be able to utilize this book to help educate your doctors, you're going to be doing that right from the very beginning. And Patrick, you and I both heard from brand new business owners here with American Business Systems. Go out, utilize this book, mail it out as we teach people to do, and end up with a first doctor within their first 6 months of getting started.
Yeah, some as early as 30, 60 days. Now, not everybody gets their first doctor that quickly, but the point is, folks, that we have so many different ways that you can market, not just the book here, but we're just touching on this because it is a great way to add some credibility to what you're doing with a doctor. As you'll see a little bit later, you can actually put your name on the front cover of this book along with mine and Dr. Vicki Ragner's. It just adds huge credibility to you. Absolutely.
One of the big things here about what we were talking about, just about the iClaim and EMRX, is that our system is a full cloud-based system. You want to talk about that and how that's being educated within the book?
Yes, folks, a lot of companies out there that will, say that they got some software for you to do medical billing. It's really what we call server-based. That means you actually have to either download it or get it on a DVD. I don't even have a DVD player at this point, but
I know it.
You can install it on your computer hard drive, and all the data is saved right there locally. Now, if you want to connect to the doctor, you've got to install it on theirs and then use a third piece of software that actually connects the two together. And that is very dangerous according to the HIPAA rules of compliance with patient privacy. Because if that data is on your laptop, let's say, and your laptop gets stolen, you've got some serious problems there.
Exactly. Absolutely. And so, go ahead. Keep going.
So cloud-based just means it's on a server. We actually have servers in different parts of the country, different electrical grids even, so that if one electrical grid goes down, the other one just kicks in and you probably wouldn't even know it. And of course, all that data is backed up nightly off-site and so forth. So it follows all the rules for HIPAA. And of course, anytime there's updates to the software, that just happens all overnight. If you could have some new features, and when you log in, there they are, and we'll tell them about on the first screen. Yeah,
and so that's what's really what you want to have is a platform that is a cloud-based server, not a server-based server. Again, because just the security alone, if you try to keep up with everything, I mean, Patrick, it seems like all the time we're hearing through our compliancy group on the HIPAA issues, how often patient data is stolen or it gets lost on a hard drive or something that happens. And that happens to everybody that's in healthcare, whether you're just a single physician practice or all the way up to hospitals. So you really want to make sure that if you're going to get into this business, that you start off on the right foot. And that is with a platform that is a cloud-based system. So talking about that, one of the big things that you're still going to find out there, a lot of doctors still on a server type secured system there. And that's what you need to make sure that you have is a superior platform. That's what ABS brings to the table.
So, Eric, before we start at this point, let me kind of wrap up there. That first point, of course, was that physician education. So as you can see, we do that through teaching the doctor the facts about medical billing, about servers, software. They don't know, they don't have time to keep up with that kind of stuff. So we educate them to the point where they go, oh, well, this company really knows what they're doing and what they're talking about. So maybe I should look into it.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so let's talk about the platform itself, Patrick. ABS has what we call a complete integrated system. Let me ask this question to you, Patrick. Aren't all billing softwares built like this?
Well, some of them have electronic medical records. And of course, some of them even have a patient portal. The unique thing about it, we'll talk about that here in the next slide, I think, is the clearinghouse. But folks, all of this is all integrated. It's all written by the same programmers in the same room out in California. This is right here, US-based support and development. And the company was actually started, and the software was founded as an online clearinghouse. And so then we developed the practice management system, which is lets you do the billing. And of course, for the doctors, they get to use the electronic medical records. And Eric, as you know, it's won many, many awards.
It has. And folks, if you want to get back with the person that invited you to the webinar today, ask them to take you on a tour. And what I mean by a tour, have them do a demo for you. And what you're going to find out on that demo is what you're going to basically see on this slide right here, because the patient portal has for the access of the patient to be able to put all their information before they even leave the house. All of that information goes directly into the electronic medical records. The staff there at the doctor's office doesn't have to take a PDF and then type it in there. It actually goes directly into the EMRX platform. And then once the doctor is seeing the patient and gets through seeing the patient, then that's going directly into the billing system for you to be able to process the claim. But then inside of that, you see that there is a clearinghouse. This is what we're talking about. This is a full integrated system. You can see everything is all working in conjunction together, so that the time it's ready to send out to an insurance company, it's going directly to the insurance company, not through a third-party clearinghouse. That's all inside of the system. So again, let me encourage you to go back with the person that invited you to the webinar and ask them to see a demo of the iClaim EMRX software.
Yeah, you'll be blown away, just like the doctors are when we demo this for the doctors. We actually give demos for your doctors, and that's one way they're just blown away when they first see it, because it has features that just aren't found in any other system that's out there. Hey, and by the way, this kind of relates to that quote we saw earlier from the New Thriving Medical Practice about the rejection being up to 30%. Eric, this is why our system has a rejection rate of initial submission of the claims of less than 2%. Now, of course, the reason for that is because we're the only system that we know of that has the clearinghouse built in. So when we say that it's going to go to the insurance company, it's already been scrubbed clean and everything is, kosher, or we, tell you to correct it.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick, before we go on, Riddish, I believe that's how you pronounce your name, is asking how much can I expect to earn in the first year while doing medical billing. Actually, today's webinar is not how much you can make. We will touch on that maybe briefly in this webinar, but if you'll go back and look at some of the other webinars that we have done in the past, we've actually covered that in a lot of detail about just how much you can make. But typically, I'll just tell you this, one doctor can get your return on investment within the first year. So that kind of helps you kind of gauge it a little bit, but it's actually a little bit, you're actually going to make a lot more than just getting your return on your investment. Patrick, you want to say anything else about that before we move on?
Yeah, that's a question we get a lot. And of course, we don't like to make any promises because everybody's different, right? If you set this on the shelf and don't do anything when you go through our training, of course, you're not going to make anything.
Right.
But typically, we see people with one doctor, doing maybe 300 or 400 claims a month. They can make, $25,000, $30,000 a year off of that one doctor. Right. So there's your return on our license fee right there.
You bet. Absolutely. One of the biggest things that a brand new person that gets involved with us, or prior to, a lot of times we get these questions right here on the webinars, is what about credibility? That's a big thing, Patrick. I mean, everybody knows that if you're going to start a new business, if you're not credible and you're just brand new, how's anybody even going to trust you?
Yeah, in fact, Eric, I mentioned to you earlier that we're doing a webinar next Friday, not this Friday, that's for our business owners. Now, it's not for people who are looking at getting into the business, but once you're in the business, you're emailed links to webinars from time to time that talk about different things. One of the things we're going to talk about is what are the questions and answers to the questions that they ask you about how long you've been in business, do you have an office, do you have employees, et cetera, et cetera. Right. there are answers to those questions, believe it or not, that give you huge credibility because of some of the things we're about to show you.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I mentioned earlier is Dr. Vicki Rackner, and obviously even with Adam Phillips and the rest of the ABS team. And what you get to have immediately is 28 years of experience right off the bat. Patrick, you want to kind of tell them how that really works there?
Yeah, for example, this book, 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers, this is another marketing tool, a book that we make available to you. And you notice the subtitle on that one, and how a few simple ideas can guarantee a private practice will thrive in today's post-pandemic world. There it is again, you see, very relevant. For example, we don't have a picture of this on the back, I don't think, but on the back side of this book, we actually print your company name and logo right there on the back of the book. It's right beneath Dr. Vicki's blurb. So it gives huge credibility to you.
Absolutely. And so not only are you going to carry the credibility with that, it looks like you partnered with a doctor already. But again, 28 years of experience with American business systems. So what does that mean? What that means to you is that you've got folks that have been around the ABS family for, 20, 30 years already, and a lot of other business owners that can help with the education of the doctors. We also do your demos for you. And so kind of let that sink in. Let's say that you purchased today, and you already knew a doctor that could already use your services, but you don't know how to use the electronic medical record systems or iClaim itself. You allow us to do that work for you. We'll do the demo work for you. We'll talk with the doctors. We will help answer the questions for the doctors. And that's what's giving you the credibility from the very, very, very beginning.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about those demos in point number 9 here as we go through it.
And then, but then also, Patrick, building the credibility just with Dr. Vicki Rackner.
Yeah, Dr. Vicki is a retired general surgeon, but for the last 20 years, her focus has been helping doctors to thrive in private practice. And she does that by connecting the doctors with people like yourself. So she actually will introduce you through a letter to the doctors in your area. On her letterhead. And this is huge credibility for people because, again, since you don't have any clients to begin with, she lets them know that you're a part of a nationwide network. We do thousands of claims for hundreds of doctors from coast to coast every day of the week. And we collect millions of dollars that would not have been collected otherwise because of what you see here. Look, she says in this book, physicians in private practice walk away from an average of 30% of their income. Outsourcing your medical billing could bring claim rejection rates to as low as 2 to 5%. This may be the fastest and easiest way to increase your cash flow.
Right. Now, let's talk about the new thriving medical practice. Patrick, kind of talk about this again, because this is something you were saying that as a brand new business owner, they get to put their name on the book.
Yeah, now on this copy that we have right here, you can zoom down at the bottom there, Eric, and you'll see that this has somebody's name right on the book. All right, and then CMRM. Now remember, as you go through our training, the organization that certifies you is called the Medical Revenue Management Association. So you are a certified medical revenue manager. Oh, there's the website for that organization as well. And so the point is, you get to put your name right there on the cover. And it says that the foreword is written by you. We've actually got a foreword that's pretty generic that you can just add your name to it. Or you can write your own. If you want to do that, we're willing to work with you on that as well. But inside the book, you also have your name and contact information at the end of the foreword. So this is like it's an expensive business card. It's like, these are going to cost you about $4 a piece to have these reprinted. Once you use up, I think we give all total about 60 different books to the folks as part of their initial license fee.
That's awesome. So folks, if you think about it, one of the things that we're teaching you right now is really how you market to the doctors. You're going to market to the doctors by utilizing a book that's already in print. You will be allowed to put your name on the front cover as the one that wrote the foreword. You can tweak the foreword if you'd like to, and you can have your own foreword to it. Again, you would just get with support. But then the whole part of being a part of MIRMA and being certified by MIRMA, who has a board of directors, as you're seeing here, with all people of all different experts in the industry, that's the credibility that you're going to be able to instantly have from the very beginning you become an ABS licensee.
Yeah, so Eric, go back to that previous slide. Look up in the upper left-hand corner of that website. You see it's MIRMA, M-R-M-A-A, we pronounce it MIRMA, .org, not com, but .org. Go check that out if you'd like to read more about that board of directors or advisory board, we call it, that gives huge credibility to you that you wouldn't have otherwise. You're automatically a part of MIRMA when you go through our training. Yeah,
absolutely. There you go. Now the part of the other part that you're going to have, and in a good way to have you be able to market to doctors, is that you've got to have support, because again, you might get asked, well, how long have you been doing billing? And you may say, you know what, Patrick, I love the way that you kind of tell the story. It's kind of like you would say with the realtors out there. You know, you're just part of the nation's largest group of medical billers.
Well, yeah, you could open an office for Century 21, for example, and you've never sold a house. So when you talk to somebody and they say, well, how many houses have you sold? You can say, well, I haven't personally sold any because I've just opened an office here locally, but I'm a part of a nationwide network. You've probably heard of them, Century 21.
Right. Yeah. And so what you're going to have here is a support mechanism, just like you would have if you were joined in with a large realtor, just like the Century 21, as Patrick just said. Because, Patrick, you've got folks that are not only paid people that actually do the support, but other of our technology partners that's part of the entire support system of American Business Systems.
That's right. So we have in-house support people. This is all U.S. based, by the way. We also have our technology partners that are from coast to coast. Eric, we have over 100 now people nationwide that can support our licensees. And then we have other business owners. That's right. People like yourself who've already been through our training, who've established their business and are running a profitable business. And we even pay them, Eric, as coaches to help new people get up to speed. So we got you covered when it comes to support.
You bet. You bet. And then on top of that, all of your support is so handy. And it says it just as quickly as you getting in on the internet. And it's called ABSLS. Now, that is a secured site. You don't get the login or a password or anything in until after you become a licensee. But Patrick, I mean, how much information is on this LSS?
Well, there's probably at least 15 years worth of news items. We post things on a regular basis. This is an old screenshot, but Eric, can you pause the screen there and click on that slide and go to the site itself? I'd like to show them live what's in this thing, because folks, this is full. This is full of all kinds of information that you can use to educate yourself after you've gone through our initial training, which is 10 modules. Each one's about 90 minutes. Once you've gone through that, you then can go into this LSS and just browse all kinds of webinars and documents and things that will help you grow your business.
Well, let me see if I can get logged in properly.
I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't think about that. It makes you log in, of course. Well, that's well, hey, see how secure that is? You can't get into this unless you log in.
Let's see. Oh, well, let's try this one here. There we go. I'm in. There we go.
Yeah, Eric is traveling, and so he's not at his normal computer right now where all of his passwords are. Those sticky notes. You put all your passwords on the sticky note, don't you?
I got them, yep, on a sticky note. That's exactly correct.
Now look, Eric, just across that top menu. Look, folks, this is all the services, as you can see. There's a whole news section. Click on that one, Eric. Let's just see what's there. There's one that we just posted August 1st. And if you scroll down, you'll see that this just goes on and on and on back, like I said, about 15 years worth of information on this site. So folks, I'm just saying this alone is worth the investment in our license. Why? Because you're getting our experience, our developed documents and slideshows and brochures and all that's already been developed for you. You don't have to start from scratch. And we continue to add to this, of course, as we continue to grow our company. But there's plenty out there. You can spend years educating yourself. There's one of the pages where you can actually order that book, the doctor's book. Yeah.
You bet. Yeah. All right. I'm going to get back over here to our slide deck. Hopefully that'll get us back over to here. I think
okay. And the next thing Eric's going to show us is another one of the things we're really proud of. And I just mentioned that we have webinars. Folks, we do these webinars on a regular basis for our licensees. And look, here's one screen of them. Now he's going to go to another screen here. Watch. You see, there's some more, and there's some more, and there's some more. It just goes on and on. Literally hundreds of hours of training that we've already posted out there on our what we call the LSS, the licensee support site that you just saw.
Absolutely. Now, this is also just a quick picture of the. I think this is the actual next gen office. So this is the one that you and I were out there, and you can see all the way back to 2016. We were out there and took this picture, and people there helping some of our licensees already. So, yeah, you've got the unlimited support of our technology folks, our ABS support, and then the LSS. You've got all the support that you're going to need.
Right.
All right. The other thing that you're going to need to market to doctors is obviously a website. Patrick, everybody needs a website, right?
Well, without a website nowadays, you are not a business. I've actually run across some local contractors, like maybe people who repair fences or landscapers and so forth, and they don't have a website. Or if they do, it's really pathetic. So what we did is we spent thousands of dollars on professional designers designing a website for you so you don't have to. Now, you can adjust it any way you want to. Of course, you could add your name, your logo, your contact information, your phone number. All of that, of course, is personalized for you. And there's probably 50 or 60 pages on these websites that cover all of our services and in detail tells your prospects about your company, and then has your contact information. They can fill out a form. It'll come directly to your email. And so, folks, it's a wonderful marketing. I've got a licensee that I interviewed recently, Eric. I think it's Wendy Bruno, maybe. Anyway,
right.
She has gotten all of her clients just from her website. Now, her husband kind of knows how to go out there and promote it a little bit. So the point is, you can't just stick it out there. It'd be like a sign in the middle of Kansas, right? You've got to actually go and promote it. And we teach you how to do that through social media.
Well, let me just pause here. I'm not sure if we got this covered in here or not. We may, but folks, getting out there, whether it's in the social networking world or in the reality networking world, either way, you're going to want to network with other people out there, and you're going to want to let other people who are also marketing to doctors know about your website, know about what you're doing, and whether you're sending them to your website, whether you're going to see another way of showing you how to market here in a moment. It truly is building your network of people. That's what good business people do. It's not that they're selling anything, but they are networking with themselves and with inside their community to let people know that you are in business. And that's what ABS is doing. It's helping you set yourself up to let other people know, whether it's doctors or other business people within your area. We will have you known that you were in business from the very beginning as you get started here with ABS.
Yeah, we're going to teach you to connect with other people in your community, other business people, not people that are in the medical billing business now. I'm talking about other people like maybe a banker, a real estate agent, and so forth. Those people will connect you with that they are connected to doctors, because let's say a financial planner, for example, he's got clients. If he's a CPA, he's got doctor clients, and they can introduce those people to you once they know what you do for them.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about another thing, and believe it or not, yes, mailers are still a good way of getting in contact with doctors. As a matter of fact, people actually like to get things in the mail now. I mean, the social media has really helped put into practice, utilizing mailers?
Well, I don't know about you, but I get so many emails that I've just got my finger right poised over the delete key, right? And so when somebody does get a postcard or a greeting card, like you're seeing here, in the mail, physically,
yes,
a full color postcard that opens up and has a message that's designed by you for the doctor, they're impressed. And this is the way that we help doctors retain their current patients and reach out to other potential patients that are in the community. Yeah, there's an example of one that you see. It's got an editor. This is all online, by the way. You're not licking envelopes. This is all online. You design a card, you tell it who you want to send it to, you push a button, and boom, it's stuck in an envelope and mailed and stamped, and it's on its way. And it's there, the next day or two to the patient.
And Patrick, I know that we didn't talk about that with the book, but that's one of the ways that we get the book into the doctor's hands is there's a special way that we have you and teach you to mail that book to the doctor that slips right past the gatekeeper, because they're going to see, number one, there's something in it besides just a postcard too. But if you're drip marketing with these doctors, they're going to start to get, oh man, this person's really they know what they're doing. If they know what they're doing in marketing, they must know what to do with billing. Patrick, how often have you and I tested this process out, only for you and I, if we wanted to, we could get our own doctors as well?
Yeah, we tested it out just to make sure that it works, and we actually called on a doctor, put them on the automatic list so that it sent out a card each month to this office.
Yeah.
Well, after about 6 or 7 months, they called us up and said, hey, we want you to come talk to us about doing our billing.
Yeah.
And we signed them up. So we know that it works. And I've interviewed many people on my interviews that have said the same thing. I got my first client by just doing what you told me to do with these postcards. Now, that's a little more expensive than email, but hey, if it gets you a client that makes you, $25,000 a year, then it's worth whatever you put into it.
You bet. Absolutely. Well, the other thing that you have to have, again, are proven solutions. If you just say, you know what, I want to bypass American business systems, I want to go out and get my own medical billing platform, you can do that. You can go start from scratch. You can go do your own website design. You can go do all of your own flyers and write your own book if you want to. You could certainly do that. But you also have to have more than just medical billing. You have to have other solutions. And that's what we're showing you right now.
Yeah, these solutions, again, folks, are other services that are done by our technology partners. We have people that do all this for you. All you're doing basically in the practice is setting it up with the doctor's office, and then we do all the work behind the scenes. And since there's money being paid by the doctor for these services, you get a little piece of that every month, and
right.
So do we as a company. That's how we stay in business without charging any kind of support fees, like some companies charge another $1,200, $1,500 a year for support.
Right.
We never charge anything after you've signed up with us.
So let me talk to you real quickly about a few of these services. Coding resource is obviously from the very beginning, most people that are looking to get into this business are always wondering, am I going to need to know about medical codes? One of our technology partners that handles both CodeWrite and Audit Guard, as you'll see both of these, have certified professional coders. They're called CPCs, certified professional coders that will do everything for you. It's as though that you have hired a full team of certified professional coders. So when when you're starting to market to your doctors, and a doctor may just ask you, hey, do you have any coders on staff? The answer to your question, to the doctor's question at that point, is absolutely yes. I have a full team of certified professional coders. And then you can start to ask the questions. Do you need coding done, on some of the things that you're currently doing? Or like with Audit Guard, do you need to make sure that you're coding properly? That's the important roles of having these types of resources at your fingertips.
Yeah, there's such a thing called over-coding. That means that a doctor is coding with a certain code number. It's a number, 4 or 5 digit number, that maybe they saw the patient for 30 minutes. And all they actually saw the patient for was 15 minutes. That's overcoding, trying to get more money for that visit. And if Medicare comes in and audits you and you don't have audit guard, the doctor will be fined up to $10,000 for every one of those overcodes. So it protects the doctor in that way. And then the code right makes sure that you're not undercoding. What if a doctor is undercoding every visit at 15 minutes and he sees some people 30 and 45 minutes? He's leaving money on the table, and we can save him money and increase his revenue that way on the code right.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, we've already talked about it already, is HIPAA. HIPAA, everybody understands what HIPAA means. That's your privacy as a patient. And a lot of doctors' offices do not have the proper HIPAA compliance regulations and rules and education within their office. Matter of fact, Patrick, you and I have both taught some brand new business owners with American Business Systems. You know, when you get through training and you're ready to go out and start marketing to doctors, and you really want to go see some doctors and you want to go drop off your business card, that's a great thing to do. But instead of just talking about your medical billing, go in there and ask for the compliancy officer. Patrick, you know, it's amazing what happens when people go, oh, you want to talk to my compliancy officer? Uh-oh, Who is that?
They may not even know that they're supposed to have a compliancy officer. But the point is that they will point you to the person who's running the office. And that's what you want, is to connect with that person and tell them, look, we have this service that can help you comply with HIPAA and keep the doctor, again, from being fined. Because, Eric, I can't tell you how many doctors' offices that I've been in that I see HIPAA violations right there in the office. I went into one room where they had a computer screen up with somebody else's chart up, and I was just waiting for the doctor to show up. That's a HIPAA violation. That is a HIPAA violation.
There's so many, we could go on for another 10, 15 minutes just on the HIPAA Compliancy Guard. This is an incredible service. And you talk about getting your foot in the door. This is one of these that can actually kick the door open to allow you to start talking about, you know, what services you have, the credibility that you have all these other different sources. Obviously, this is all having to do with money. And one of the other services is, again, Quick Collect. So, Patrick, you know, trying to manage receivables really with anybody's business can be one of the last things to do on the list. But Quick Collect actually helps the doctors, gets that money back into their office. And this happens a lot in the first part of the year because deductibles are high. We can put a doctor on Quick Collect to help those deductibles get taken care of by their patients.
Right. And this is all automated. Now, I mentioned earlier that a lot of doctors do not collect, but about half of all the money that they bill to patients. And then at the end of the year, of course, they just write that off, you know, on their taxes. Folks. They would rather have that money in their bank account, believe me. And this can help them do that and get that down to, you know, again, less than about 5% on the collection as far as getting it all collected. So they'll collect about 95%. It's a wonderful service. It's very inexpensive for the doctor to use this, and it does not offend the patients because it's all automated. That means there's no phone calls or anything directly to the patients, and you certainly don't have to get involved in it. You just let it work behind the scenes for that doctor and get a check in the mail every month.
Absolutely. And all the services we've talked about, as Patrick just mentioned, you're going to make money on this. Now, are you going to make your return on investment? Not in the immediate part of it. Over a period of time, you will. But what you're trying to do, though, remember, folks, is to get in front of the doctor, build that credibility, and when they're billing. That's what we're trying to teach you today, of how to market to these doctors. These are the best ways that have taken our licensees in the past and made them to where they are today, where they're billing for 5, 6, 10, 15 doctors, and some even more than that. Folks, we've got about 15 more minutes left for the webinar. So if you got any questions, feel free to ask us about anything you want to do about marketing. There's a couple of questions here. We're gonna wait to the very end to ask or to answer, but we were trying to get through this part here about marketing. Patrick, as we kind of start getting some things wrapped up here, we have what's called a proven discovery. And again, I know a lot of people on the call today are going to say, gosh, Patrick, I am not a good salesperson. We're not asking you to be a good salesperson. We're asking you to be a good educator and then leave these doctors on discovery. Let them tell you what's wrong with their practice.
Yeah, when we sign up somebody that says to us in our initial conversations with them that they have a background in sales, I tell them, well, I hate to hear that. And they'll be surprised at that. And I say, it's because you need to forget about 90% of what you were taught as a salesperson, because doctors do not like to be sold.
Yeah,
but they do like to talk to people who have solutions to the problems that they have. So we use what we call the practice analysis questionnaire. And as you're seeing a little visual of it there, basically, we'll teach you how to go through these questions and ask these to the office manager, usually, sometimes the doctor, and get the answers. Then you take those answers back to your office and you produce what we call the practice revenue report. Now, this is a report that is a piece of software, basically, that you plug the numbers into, and it will generate this report for you. And look, we're going to zoom in there on the last part of that down at the bottom there, and you see that what we've said for this particular doctor, that we can increase their revenue by 58%. Now, Eric, even if we were blowing smoke, the doctor probably looks at this and says, oh, you can increase my revenue $122,000 a year. How do you do that? Well, one of them is, look, his rejection rate up there at the top is 25%. See it there? And we can get that down to 2%. As we know, nationwide, that's our average. So that means he's going to bring in another $10,000 a month. And that's an increase of $122,000. Now, that's nothing to sneeze at, even if we were lying and it was half that. Surely a doctor would be interested in at least, signing up with you and trying it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, that's what we're sharing with you today. There's no selling. Now, there is marketing, there is networking, there are business things that you have to do to let people know that you're in business. But once you're there and you've got a doctor that says, hey, I want to know what you can do for me. Well, still, you're not going to go through a selling process. You can just say, well, one of the things we need to do, we need to make sure that we're a good fit for you. And one of the ways to do that is through the questionnaire. And it's through the questionnaire you discover this information. And that's why we've called this the proven discovery system. That's really what it's going to take to get the doctors to this point. We got a couple more sections here we want to get through, Patrick. We're almost out of time here. Subject matter experts. And this is, again, where we kind of start sealing everything together here for our brand new licensees.
Yeah, so you may not feel confident in talking with a doctor or even an office manager at this point because you have had no training whatsoever. Once you go through our training, folks, you'll know more than 99% of all the office managers out there about this topic of billing. And as Eric mentioned earlier, we're the subject matter experts behind you. You're a part of our network. So when we do those demos for your doctors, as you're illustrated here, there's us up in the upper left-hand corner, one of our demo guys, who demonstrates it to a doctor. You can be on it in the bottom right-hand corner with a spouse or partner if you want to. Anyway, you're sitting in on it. You're getting to see us do the demo, exactly what we do, and exactly what we say, and the questions that the doctor asks and what the answers are. And if you want to, somewhere down the line, you can do your own demos. We've got many licensees who moved on to do their own demos, haven't we, Eric?
Exactly. Yeah, you'll get to the point where you're just as comfortable of doing the demos as we would be. But again, we want to help you and help you launch this whole marketing campaign to the doctors. And one of the ways that we do that through the demo that we're talking about right here is the way in which we can do what's called an eligibility verification or an eligibility check. And you can see here, we're able to tailor that directly to the doctors and for each of their practices. But if you were to take some time now, these slides are going to be available to you, so you can go back and read through this a little bit more detail. But go back and read this about the importance of doing eligibility verifications. I'm going to show that to you in a couple of slide shots here. So one of the things that we're going to show you, and that's why it's important for you to get back with the person that's invited you to the webinar today. They are going to be able to take you on a tour. It's for you to show you exactly what I'm showing you. So you see right there on our screen on iClaim, it says eligibility request. What we'll do there, we would click on that, and that's going to get us to this next screen here. We would put into the system the patient's payer. So that would be like United Healthcare, put in a little bit more of their information, and within our own system, not outside in some third-party system out there, like Ability, or if people know anything about that, it's happening directly within our system. We get to pull in that, yes, they're active with United Healthcare, maybe even who their PCP is, what are all their co-pays, and with one more click of a button, we're able to pull all of that information directly into the system, as you can see here. So all of that information, all of the patient's information actually is coming in from the insurance company. So the office manager or their staff doesn't have to sit there and type all this information in here. That's where, again, Patrick, the doctors are going, wow, or their office managers are going, wow, we've never seen anything like that in any other software.
Yeah, because we're reaching into those insurance companies' databases in real time. I mean, it takes a few seconds, 4 to 5 seconds, and boom, it just sucks all that data in there. Think about that, folks. One of the causes for rejections of claims is just inaccurate data. Just one thing can be wrong and the claim will be rejected. In this case, the insurance company's data is what's put into our system, so we know it's right.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no other better way. Patrick, our last thing here is proven stability. And again, this is a congratulations to you, to Adam, to the rest of the ABS team here, that you've been around as long as you have. And you've gone through, recessions, through so many different things, but you really have built the largest network of medical billing companies throughout the United States.
Yeah, and we've been around for 28 years, like Eric said, and folks, we believe we'll be around for many, many, many years to come, because healthcare is just growing. It's just booming right now. There'll always be a need. As long as there's human beings that get sick, they go to the doctor has to get paid. Somebody has to bill somebody for the doctor to get paid, and we teach people how to do that.
Absolutely. And you're always adding new services. That's what this is all about here. And Patrick, one of the questions here that I know that has been asked already is, what is the cost? Is there financing? And is there additional cost with any other brand new services that you have within the system?
The answer is yes, maybe, depending on whether you qualify for the financing. And no, there's not a cost for any of these new services as we add them. It's all inclusive, folks. I don't believe in nickel and diming people to death. They will always be a part of our system. As long as they're a part of our network, they will get all these new services. Now, you should get back with the person who invited you to this. We're going to show you how to get a hold of them here in just a second, and ask them how they can help you to get, come up with the funds for the business.
You bet. So again, anything that comes down in the future, any other services are always grandfathered in, as that people would say, all under your initial thing that you're able to do there. All right, so let's get here to the kind of towards the end here. Patrick, there is one question that I've kind of reserved here for the very end, and we'll kind of go through what some people might want to know. What are their next steps? What can they think about doing here as they move forward? Amber is asking how much time is spent on a day if they're doing 300 to 400 claims a month. That's a great question here, and typically that's usually with one doctor. And one doctor, I'm just going to kind of shorten this up a little bit, but one doctor, it's going to take you no more than, it should take you less than 2 hours a day to do billing for one doctor. And that is with about 300 to 400 claims in a month's time.
Yeah, because 400 claims is, 100 a week. That's about 20 a day. 20 claims literally take you 2 or 3 minutes per claim. And like Eric said, it could take less than 2 hours a day to do those claims, and you'd be making $25,000, $30,000, depending on the doctor and the volume of claims from that one client. So you don't need a whole lot. I tell people, Eric, you need a handful of clients to make a real solid 6-figure income in this business.
Absolutely. Now, let me tell you a couple of things here, and I'm going to turn this over to Patrick. You talk about credibility and about longevity, and the reason that I think you're going to be safe at least do your own due diligence with American Business Systems is because of those two things. The credibility that Patrick and Adam and the rest of the ABS team has done here. And it all starts with your 100% money back guarantee. Patrick, talk about that. To me, that doesn't build any better credibility than someone to say, you know what I mean, at the end of 30 days, I could actually ask for my money back.
Yeah, as you know, Eric, my staff thought I was nuts a few years back when I came up with this guarantee. And I said, well, look, folks, if we have what we say we have, if this is a real business that people can really make money at, they'll know that in the first 30 days. Let's let them go through all of our training and see all of our proprietary information. And if there's something about it that they just don't like or didn't understand, just give them their money back and we'll move on. Now, we have given a handful of people their money back over the years, but the point is, folks, that it's very few because I think you'll see, like most people do, that we have much more. There's much more to this business than you think there is when you go through our training.
You bet. All right, so let's kind of wrap up here. I know this is people are you kind of carved out 1 hour. We're going to make sure that we stay within that hour. So let's talk about the next steps for you. The first step is Patrick. Let's talk about the research guide and how did they get this research guide?
Yeah, this is a PDF document. It's over 65 pages now. It has information that's not anywhere on our website, by the way. So you have to ask the person who invited you to this webinar. There's our phone number. If you don't know who that is, you can call and just ask, or send us an email and say, hey, I don't know who my person is. And we will get that research guide to you. Very, very good information inside that. You'll want that. Then browse our YouTube channel. We've mentioned that a couple of times here. You can just go to youtube.com right now. There's a picture of the actual channel, and it's /YABS, youtube.com/YABS. We'll keep this slide up here, the one that shows that address here when we get finished.
Absolutely. I was going to say, for those that have asked questions about maybe partnering with Dr. Rackner, or you want to know how much money you can actually make, this is where we're sending you back to. This is part of your next steps of some of the things you need to do. And included with that, one of the things you need to do is talk with other ABS references.
Yeah, don't believe what Eric says. You know, he could be just making stuff up here.
Thank you. Absolutely. I do it every week.
And so could I, folks. I mean, we know that out on the internet, there's a lot of scams and things going on out there. So we tell you, look, let us give you a list of people who've gone through our training, who've agreed to take some phone calls, and you just call and ask them about their business. All of these people, and this is just a very small part of them that are on that list, they will tell you the facts about this business and give you, just, they won't blow smoke because they don't have any incentive to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've already talked about this. It's not like we think this is important, but it's important.
It is.
Get with somebody and go through a live demo.
Yeah, when you see the demo, it will dawn on you that this is a real business with a real platform that could help doctors stay in private practice. That's our goal every day here at ABS. We want to help people like yourself help doctors stay in private practice, because that's the foundation for our healthcare system in the United States, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. And they get the purchase agreement. Patrick, what is that, 4 pages long?
Yeah, it's very non-legal. Of course, it's got some legal terms in there, I guess, but it's really easy to see and follow. It's not like a 40-page document like some franchises have. And you'll see that it'll give you all the details about what you get in the package, about the guarantee, the training. Everything's covered in that document as well. You'll get that from the person who invited you. You
bet. And the last thing to do is send in that agreement, get your funding going, and start your training. I mean, how quickly can they start their training, Patrick?
Well, we actually let you speak with an instructor. So we'll put you in contact with that instructor. They'll call you, or you can call them, and basically just work out your schedule on a calendar as to when you want to start training. It can be as little as within 72 hours that they could get started. Yeah. And if you want to, and it fits her schedule or your schedule, or both, then you can get through this training easily in 30 days. Some people go through it in 3 weeks, Eric. So
absolutely, it can be done. And then obviously you still have that 30-day money back guarantee. So let me put up the last screen up here with the phone number, 866-565-8413. Give us a call here. Again, if you don't know who your business rep here is, call that number. We will make sure that you get assigned to one, or just simply email us. Patrick, kind of close us out here for this afternoon. I know that some people have to already get ready to jump off here.
Yeah, in fact, one person, it's funny, Eric, we've had this question asked many, many times in the past. When we first heard it from somebody up in the New York area, a big metropolitan area, they thought, well, it's going to be hard to get doctors because there's a lot of, competition, and we just do business different up here. And that's what this question is. How easy is it to get your first client in New York? I tell you what, Adoko, I think that I'm pronouncing that name right. Anyway, Adoko, you should let your ABS rep know that you want to talk to somebody, one of our business owners that's in New York. Believe me, there's thousands of doctors, and this guy only has about 15, but he's setting them all up very quickly, and that would be the best way to answer that question. Then James wants to know, does the 30-day start when training starts or after it's done? It's when the training starts. It's when we get your agreement in, James. Basically, well, let's say it does. We count it from the day you first start training, right? So again, you get the training done in 30 days, and maybe by the end of the second or third module, you go, you know what? This is not what I thought it was. I just wanted my money back, and I'll go do something else. And we're fine with it.
Yep.
Look, we do these webinars every week, folks, at 4:00 Central Time. So be sure and get back with your ABS rep, or go back to our website and just click up at the top to sign up. Like maybe tomorrow, you should wait probably one day. Then we'll have the new link for the new registration for our webinar next Wednesday. I don't even know what that is. Do you, Eric?
I don't have a clue. But that's okay. We'll come up with something.
Here it is. Oh, you know what? It's another live interview with one of our business owners, Tanya Flowers. Yeah. So I'm looking at the calendar here. Okay, good. So go sign up for that, folks. And we hope you see you soon in one of our training sessions. If not, maybe on the webinar next week. Eric, thank you for putting all this together. Good information.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patrick. Y'all have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye for now.